Okay, so these are the quickie reviews I was thinking about doing. Since it's a pain in the butt for me to edit, I figured this would be a little bit easier. I could still talk about the movies. I've got something. I'm doing something with TV shows, and it's got its own thing that I'm working on doing that. So I got that going on. I'm doing a lot of different projects, trying to put my hands in a little bit of different things. I've got the gaming channel that I'm working on, and I want to do this. So I figured I would do quickie reviews of the movies that I have seen. I might do this for all movies that I've seen, see how well this goes, but I'm mainly going to right now do movies that I'm just seeing. And the last couple movies that I have seen was Megan 2.0 and Jurassic World Rebirth. So, first Megan movie wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't anything crazy good, but it wasn't anything crazy bad. It was good. It was still I enjoyed it, at least. I liked it. I liked the story. I liked the characters. I just overall I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed the horror theme of it too. It wasn't too crazy. Like, it knew what it was trying to be, and it did well. This one, on the other hand, Megan 2.0. So the trailers gave me different hope for this. It gave me almost misleading vibes. I was thinking it was going to be one thing, and the movie was something completely different. Which, yes, I know trailers sometimes put in scenes that aren't in the movies, and sometimes, depending on who makes the trailers, they have no freaking idea what the movie even is about, so it's very misleading. Kind of like the Suicide Squad. Like, it was meant to be this, but then they ended up having to change it because the theme did not match anything like the trailer, and then they changed it also because Guardians was so good, so they tried to make it something like that. So, going into this, I was expecting this movie to be, dip its hands into the more comedy-like side, more comedy action side of it, and not taking itself too serious, which, unfortunately, that did not happen. So, the pros for this movie, I will say, Megan. I really liked Megan. I felt like she definitely growed as a character. I enjoyed her in this one. Every time she was on screen, she was definitely the best part. There's a reason why she is the title character, and that's what you want from a main character, in a way, where every time she is on screen, she brings it. Like, it was enjoyable. I wanted to see more of her. I almost didn't even care about any of the other characters. I would have just rather have watched Megan fight the other robot and just been fine with that. I didn't even need anybody else. So, there was that. The story, and maybe I liked the story maybe because it just reminded me so much of Terminator 2. Like, that's what this movie was. This was like a newer version of T2, modernized, and for like a gender swap, in a way. That's what it felt like, which isn't the baddest thing in the world. Like, it definitely felt like this also was like a video game, as well as that they had missions that they had to go on to get them closer to the end, and then fighting this big boss and building up their, credits and getting themselves all the, like, kind of like a Zelda game. You have to get all the hearts that you need, all the weapons that you need to complete the tasks, and that's what it felt like they were doing with the story, and I kind of like that. It was like a video game movie, in a way, where, they had to go on all these side quests to complete it and, like, upgrade Megan more and more as they were doing it, and I really enjoyed that from the story. The cons on it was the themes. It just seemed like they bounced back and forth between the theme of them being funny, then taking themselves super serious, then it was an action movie, then it was a spy thriller, then this, then that. Like, it just couldn't stick to a theme. It just kept bouncing back and forth. Like, they would have a super serious scene, and then it was broken up by some joke, or Megan just all of a sudden randomly singing. I was sitting in the theater going, like, this is like, I made like a weird confused face, like, why the hell is she singing all of a sudden? This is so confusing. What? Like, I was very confused by it. And if it picked a tone or theme or, like, whatever, like, if it just picked a certain direction, it would have worked. It wouldn't have been a big problem. But they kept bouncing back between everything and then taking themselves too serious and too jokey. Like, they just couldn't meet the balance, and it just did not work for me at all. The villains, now, the other robot, the other AI robot, she was fine. I almost would have preferred her and Megan fighting, like Megan trying to stop her at every chance that she was doing and would just fail, like when she ended up taking Katie. I would have liked seeing that every time they met up, that she just kept getting the best of Megan, and then by the end, Megan finally pulled up the stops, like she like learned all these moves and finally figured out how to stop her and was able to do that. I would have been fine with, I would have rather have had that, but like, we get this freaking tech guy who immediately, once you see the boyfriend come on the screen, sorry, spoilers, I mean, obvious, but when you see the tech guy come on here, it's like, okay, that guy's immediately like the bad guy. Like, he's hardly in the movie, and then all of a sudden he knows all of this freaking crap. Like, how do you know all this stuff, but like, nobody came to kill you, no one tried to shut you up or anything like that? Like, come on. Like, it was just very dumb, and it just bugged me. And then also you have this super AI computer that has been sitting there growing. Like, even Megan pointed it out. Like, I only grew in a couple of years and I learned how to do all this. How do you think a supercomputer that's been baking for decades could be? And it ends up getting taken out with like one freaking supercharged thing. Like what the hell? That this big baddie AI robot couldn't figure out how to stop Megan, couldn't figure out how to use any of its super intellect. Like, that seemed very stupid. So the villains were very, just very lackluster in a way. And then the action scenes. If you've watched any of my Arrow movies, I 100% do not like bad action scenes. I do not need a shaky cam. I do not need it to be cut 13 times for one fight, okay? And maybe because John Wick spoiled us and we've had kung fu movies that have spoiled us where they are shot and done so well and choreographed so well that I don't need to see a movie be like that. I don't need all of my movies to be like that. I don't need them to be these well choreographed things, but I want to see what you did choreograph. I want to see it in the movie. I don't need to be super zoomed up and then backed out, then cut. I don't need that crap. I don't want that crap. Like, just leave it as it is and let me see what you did. Let me judge it from what you choreographed instead of you chopping it up because you don't trust it, you know? If you don't trust it, don't put it in the fucking movie, you know? It makes sense. So, like, if you know from the episodes that I've already put out, the videos I put out, you know how I feel about action scenes, and if you're going to do it right. I want to see it, regardless if it's good or bad. I want to see the full thing, you know? You can stylize in some way and make it look like your own, like, do it your own way, but do not chop it up. I shouldn't have to count how many cuts in one freaking scene from somebody punching somebody. Like, there shouldn't be 10 cuts before the person connects with another person in the face. Like, I don't want that. So, overall, I'd have to give this movie, like, a D+, a C-. You know, it really could go either way for me on that. I mean, I liked it, but then at the same time, it was okay. Maybe my expectations just were not met, and that kind of disappointed me a little bit. So, unfortunately, you know, I'm going to give it a D+, C-. But yeah, unfortunately, Megan was not what I was expecting, and maybe just a little bit of a letdown. Alright, so Jurassic World Rebirth, the latest Jurassic Park / World movie in the series. So after the disappointing last two movies, which they weren't the worst things I've ever seen, but at the same time, there was so much crap I did not care about. Even bringing the old cast back in, it was just so disappointing. Like, you almost brought them back for nothing to star in a crappy version of this. Like, I liked the first Jurassic World. I liked that we finally got to see the park. We finally got to see what it was supposed to be, or be what it was supposed to be like, you know? I'm so happy we finally got to see the park open, and we finally got to see what it would have looked like. Like, it looks freaking awesome. I wish I could have gone there. Now we are at the point where the dinosaurs are in the world, and they're living off with the land with us, but people are sick of dinosaurs, which is bullcrap, because they keep making these movies, and these movies keep making money, so clearly we are not tired of dinosaurs. We clearly still want dinosaurs. We want more dinosaurs. Give us the dinosaurs. I don't care about freaking the people in the movies half the time. I want dinosaurs. Show me dinosaurs. Which is nice, because I do like that they gave us new dinosaurs. We didn't see the same type of dinosaurs as we usually always do. Granted, you know, there was the T-Rex in there, but we got new types of dinosaurs that we haven't seen before, and even the genetically altered ones. We still got new dinosaurs, and I like that. I like seeing new dinosaurs. Like, you could still bring in old dinosaurs that we've seen in previous movies, but definitely give me new ones to see when I go in there. I want to see new, scary, awesome-looking dinosaurs. I want to be wowed when I go there, just like these people. So the pros for this movie, obviously, dinosaurs. I love freaking dinosaurs. Like, every time I go and see one of these movies, I still feel like a kid going back and watching it, the first Jurassic Park movie, you know? I'm still in awe. I still love it. If dinosaurs were actually real and you could go to the zoo like you would to see, like, a tiger and stuff like that, I would love that. That would be fucking awesome to do something like that. I would go to the zoo, the dinosaur zoo, like, every year if that was possible. Like, I loved going to these movies to watch the dinosaurs. The story could be absolutely horrible, like the last one with the stupid locusts and crap, but yet I still want to go to see the dinosaurs. Like, that is my favorite part of these movies. So, dinosaurs. Simple as that. I liked that they brought it back to the island. I like that we got away from whatever was going on in the last two movies. You know, I get Jurassic World, now they're in our world. I did like that we did go back to the island, and now we are seeing them in their environment, and now having to do all these missions, kind of like Megan. This also felt like a video game where you have to do, all right, we beat this boss, now we gotta move on to the next boss, and then into the next boss. You know, I liked that. And it was just nice to go back to the island and feel almost like we're going back to our roots in a way. Like, I kind of enjoyed that we're not in the real world and dealing with buildings in the way and cars and all this. We are back on the island, walking, trying to figure out how not to get eaten by these dinosaurs. It was very enjoyable to do that. Have no idea how, if they do a sequel, what they're going to do, because it seemed like this was a very done point, but obviously money talks, so they'll figure out some silly way. But I do enjoy that they did go back to the island. It does seem weird that there's another island. I think this is, what, Island 3? How many islands were there? I remember only 2 islands, and now it's like we're getting more islands. Like, is the next movie going to have, like, a 4th and 5th island? Like, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be called Jurassic Island and not Jurassic World or Park anymore, you know? So, yeah. I actually did like the cast. None of them were groundbreaking characters, and some of them were kind of bland, but compared to the last cast that we got, where Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard characters, like, just did have no chemistry at all. Like, I'm supposed to believe these two liked each other, loved each other, to the point where now they're living with each other in a cabin in the woods. Like, it felt like there was no chemistry there. I'm sick of Owen's stupid hand timeout fucking thing. Like, just, you can't control every dinosaur by doing it. That's like me going into the wildlife and putting my hand out in front of a fucking lion. The lion's going to eat me, okay? The lion doesn't know me. The dinosaurs do not know you, dude. You cannot put your hand up and expect a fucking dinosaur to stop, you know? It made sense with the raptors because you trained them from birth. But you're not a fucking dinosaur whisperer. Like, every time you do that, they end up still coming after you. So it's completely pointless and stupid, and it's a super invincibility. Like, he's able to do all this crap, and, like, no. At least these characters felt like they had flaws. They weren't superhuman, superpower trained. Like, there was a point where Scarlett Johansson's character missed a shot, and, like, there was, like, she missed it. There was, like, if it was Owen, he would have fucking, like, retracted back into the dinosaur and wouldn't have been able to catch the blood, and it just would have been like, oh, sure, okay, he can shoot the gun anywhere in the freaking world, and it comes right back and gets the dinosaur. So, like, I liked that they made mistakes. I liked that they were flawed, I liked that they weren't, like, these super invincible people. They weren't a freaking clone. The family loved each other enough to the point where they were doing everything they could to save each other and try and get, like, the boyfriend literally jumped into the water where there's a bunch of Spinosauruses. Granted, they all disappeared, which seemed really weird. Like, the Spinosauruses just were gone after they jumped into the water. The family jumped into the water. Granted, they made a lot of stupid decisions. A lot of characters actually made a lot of stupid decisions, but compared to the old cast, I did enjoy this one a lot more than I did with the other one. Yeah, they just felt like they were more real characters. They weren't, obviously, I'm not saying they were the best written characters in the freaking world. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they were better than the last cast. And I did like the action scenes. I did, like, obviously, the main characters aren't dying. They're not dying. They're not going to, but maybe it was also because I was in the theater with a bunch of people who, they made it seem like these characters were in danger. There were people who were gasping and all like this. I'm like, oh, gee, like, maybe that's what it was that made it feel, like these people could have died in these scenes. It's not like Owen where he was super strong, diving in this ice cold freezing water, and the dinosaur somehow doesn't get him, and then they're able to outrun the dinosaur and then not die of hypothermia either. Like, that's just, at least in these ones, I felt like they could have all died. Like, somebody could have died other than the side characters who you knew were going to die. Like, I did feel like they were all in danger, and I did love how the action scenes were done. We got to see them. We got to see them in the full and see the surrounding areas, what the characters are going to do. Like, I enjoyed them. Obviously, I knew none of them were going to die, like the main cast anyway, but I liked that there was that sense of it, and the theater definitely helped me feel like that too, so that could have also been what it is too, is that the theater just made it seem like that was true. Cons, the story, I mean, if you've seen one Jurassic World Park movie, they're all basically the same. The story was basically the same as most of them. Freaking this the genetics company wants to go to the island, get dinosaur blood or get dinosaur something, and, bring it to the world, but then obviously they're shady characters for a reason, and the bad guy is this suit-wearing motherfucker who, he's just a bad guy. Like, the story was pretty much if you've seen any of the other movies, you're not missing anything with this. It's not groundbreaking or anything like that. It's a Jurassic Park world movie, so, yeah, nothing crazy. Another con, there's no main dinosaur. Like, how we usually have, like, a big main threat dinosaur? There was really nothing for this one. They hyped up this D-Rex so much. It's in the posters, it's in the trailers, and you really thought, at least I did anyway, you thought that this dinosaur was going to be a big threat, You thought that he was going to be in this movie more and causing mayhem for them. Granted, they also did all of this stuff, too, in a freaking day. Like, that's just crazy as well. This was all done, like, in 2 days. Like, not even over a week or anything. No, it was 2 days they did all this crap. And half the day, they were on the freaking boat. So, mainly a day, they did all this crap. But yeah, the main dinosaur, there was, like, really no threat to him. And it was like, I don't know if it's because they thought he looked dumb, so they didn't want to show him, or they didn't want to pay for the money to make the special effects for it. Like, I don't know what the reason was, but it was kind of pointless to hype up this one dinosaur and we never, ever see it. Except for at the end for, like, less than 5 minutes. Like, the Indominus Rex, saw that the whole freaking movie. The the raptor in the last movie, saw that in the whole freaking movie. Even Jurassic Park 3 with the one main dinosaur that I cannot think of. I want to say Spinosaurus, but I know that's not it. Even that dinosaur was in the movie for almost the whole thing. Like, what the heck? That's the whole point of the Jurassic Park movies, is you got a big main dinosaur that you're trying to escape and not go into contact with. Like, I don't know. Like, it just, all this hype for this one D-Rex, and then you never see it. You see it in the beginning and the end, and that's it. The plot armor and the kills. So it kind of contrasts with the action scenes and saying that, like, you knew that the main characters weren't going to die. And it definitely just, like, you knew right away going into the movie who the main characters were going to die, who the main characters were, and who the characters that were just going to get eaten by dinosaurs. And the ones that did get killed by the dinosaurs, the kills weren't even good. Like, other than the one guy getting killed on the boat by the Spinosauruses, and that was more because it shocked me. I didn't think he was going to die that soon. I really thought he was going to be, you know, saved for later on, not almost be the first one to die, you know? So it kind of sucked that we didn't really get to see anything. Like, hell, in the second Jurassic Park movie, they freaked the T-Rexes tore apart a dude. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous how they just tamed everything on this, you know? And it just sucked that we didn't get to see really any of the kills. I mean, and then for Mahershala Ali, I could not get the damn name. I really thought his character was going to die. Like, it set it up like he was supposed to die, and I don't know if it was because of a studio note or something that they were like, hey, we might have a sequel, so we want to save Ali and bring him back for the second one, which all of a sudden he just pops up and he's alive. No explanation how he survived from the D-Rex. Like, how did you get away from the dinosaur? You should have died. You should have died. Like, the plot armor was just so ridiculous on some of it, and then, like, there was hardly, like, any kills. I think there was, like, 4 or 5. Like, that was a little disappointing. I also like going to see Jurassic Park World movies to see the deaths. Like, I want to see people get eaten by fucking dinosaurs, you know? So, that was kind of disappointing. But, overall, I still enjoyed it. I still like these movies. These are one of those movies where I can turn my brain off and not be like, oh, I can't wait to see the complex stories and the themes that they tackle and all the serious issues and these deep emotional characters that I'm going to be so invested in. No, I like going, it's like the Fast Furious movies, you know, I go there to see stupid action. I'm here to see dinosaurs, essentially. That's what I want to see, dinosaurs. So, yeah, overall, I'm going to give this movie a C. Still liked it. Obviously, there was still some dumb stuff in it, but yeah. So this one might be a little bit longer than normal, only because it is 2 movies in one, and I talked a little bit longer because I wasn't sure how I was going to format it all. But yes, this was a quickie, somewhat review, and yeah, tell me how you guys enjoyed the movies. If you liked them, if you hated them, if, you know, I want to hear your pros and cons. I would love to hear that. So just let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.